Well, the wheels are in motion to bring a post office back to Becker. The mayor made that announcement online, saying USPS decided to build a new postal facility in the city. That decision comes less than a year since mail service moved from the old post office 8 miles down the highway to Monticello. That caused issues for community members who claimed important letters were getting ripped, returned, or delayed. Ian Russell has more on the big announcement.
Where one sees dirt,
I think it'll be a good fit.
Mark Kolbinger sees relief.
Finally.
Because for the first time in months, the end is finally being delivered.
We were able to make a difference, which felt really good because when we started this process, people said, well, good luck, it's not going to happen.
7 months ago, the old Becker post office closed down and moved to Monticello. The owner of the building tore it down to build this new store and didn't renew the lease for the post office. Becker Mayor Mark Kolbinger says they tried to work with the USPS on finding a new location, but the Postal Service says city officials weren't willing to work with them.
I'll be honest, as the months went by, I started thinking maybe this is a fight we're going to lose.
Issues continued to pop up, mail not being delivered or arriving damaged. But Tuesday afternoon, and the news Kolbinger wanted came through.
A huge sense of relief for the people who need that post office here.
The USPS announced they've identified this plot of land for a new Becker post office, complete with the same services as the old one.
I'm ecstatic that our delivery people are coming back, and we'll get back to people having their indoor P.O. box that doesn't freeze shut in Minnesota weather.
Kolbinger says this end of town isn't full of people like the old spot was, but that might actually be a good thing.
We have some ideas about transportation corridors and development that we want to do.
A patch of land full of potential and a chapter in town that they're glad to see wrap up.
Something as simple as your post office, who would have thought that that could bring people across the political spectrum together to really just fight for a common sense solution?
Now again, the USPS has initially identified this piece of land as where they want to put that new post office here in Becker. The mayor tells me though there's still some due diligence they have to do to identify if this is actually the correct place to put it. But he says if all goes well, they could be looking at the end of next summer for that new post office here in town. In Becker, I'm Ian Russell, KARE 11 News.